Hi everyone. So I'm out here with the Nikon D800 and I actually did not expect to buy this camera. I'm not sure if I'll keep it, but I have, as you might know if you followed my channel, I've been shooting with the Nikon Z6 for several years now. I love that camera, but I've never shot with a Nikon DSLR. And this thing was really cheap. It was like about $700, I think, before tax. And for a professional full frame camera, 36 megapixels. Honestly, I just really wanted to try it out and see what I thought of it. So I'm out here in the forest. Hopefully, we might see some birds. Probably not, though. It's pretty quiet out here. But at least we'll take some really nice pictures of the forest. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I gotta say, I've only taken a few pictures of this so far. It's already quite a lot of fun to shoot with. I really like the size and heft of it. It's taking a little bit getting used to the different set of controls than the Z6, but honestly, it's pretty cool. Well, let's go take some more photos. So as you might have guessed, this isn't going to be a really in-depth, long-term review. This camera has been well used, it's well loved, it's very well thought of. So this is more of like a review from my perspective, just using the camera and seeing what I think about it. And first we're going to talk about build quality, and I have no hesitation saying this thing is built like a tank. It has 23,000, it's a used camera, so it got 23,000 clicks on the shutter, and honestly, from the look of it here, it doesn't look its age. This camera was released in 2012, I think, and it looks new. It looks almost new, except aside from a few scuffs here and there. So I'm pretty happy about that, and I'm sure it's got a lot of life left in it. And yeah, it's just an awesome camera. It's starting to rain out here, but I'm not even worried about that because this thing is weather sealed to the hilt. So a little bit of a light drizzle is not going to affect it at all. Anyway, we're going to get back to shooting in case it really starts raining and it just gets no good for taking pictures anymore. I should mention that I'm just filming on the GoPro Hero 10 because it was convenient and I didn't want to bring along a second setup. I want this to be a quick run and gun review / photo shoot on Christmas Eve. I'm filming this on Christmas Eve. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, let's get moving. First, let's talk ergonomics. This camera is really nice in my hand. I've got large hands and it feels really solid there. The grip feels really nice. I will say though that it is quite a lot heavier than my Z6. I hadn't realized how heavy a professional full-frame mirror DSLR actually was until I used this, because I really only had experience with APS-C smaller DSLRs before I picked up the Z6. And this is it's a challenge to use one-handed for these. This is the way I shoot these little videos where I'm just using the GoPro to film me taking pictures of the camera, and so I'm shooting with one hand, and it's a bit heavy. But on the other hand, I kind of like the weight of it. It has a very real feel to it. Feels like I'm really using a powerful professional camera, and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, I like the button layout. It's taking a little bit of getting used to, just like the weight, but honestly, I kind of prefer it in some ways. I think I will end up preferring it to the newer Z6 size, and that's actually kind of interesting because I'm glad of that, because I've got the Z9 on pre-order. It's going to be amazing, and its setup is in some ways more akin to one of these professional DSLRs into the Z6. It's kind of like a hybrid of the two, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, getting kind of windy too. Actually, it's windy and cold. I'm gonna get back to filming again. One of the clear deficiencies of the camera is when it comes to its video mode. It's like only 1080p, I think 30 frames per second, very basic. I'm actually not even going to use the video mode on this camera. This is like a still shooting champion. It's mainly meant for just shooting still photos and doing it really well. So I'm not going to even fault it for having a mediocre video capabilities. Well, that was a very cool moment. I did not expect to see a bald eagle today, to be honest. And have one fly just right overhead. It looked like an immature bald eagle. And this thing just did a champion job picking it up and getting that photo. I've had the settings just right to really get it. It has been a great little walk, I gotta say. I'm getting lots of little chickadee pictures. They're all a little bit skittish though, so a little bit tricky, but we'll keep going on. So it's Christmas Day today. I'm out here again with the D800. I got a chance to get my bunch of photos into Lightroom last night and see how good the image quality is on this camera, and I've got to say I'm really impressed. The resolution is fantastic. The colors are great. Just really happy with how it all turned out. I got to say, the perfect camera for wildlife photography. Really impressive. With, of course, a lot of the work is being done by this 300 PF lens, which I've reviewed before and which I absolutely love. Anyway, I'm gonna go take some more pictures. I think I see some swans up ahead. So it's the day after Christmas and everything's just been transformed into a winter wonderland. It's absolutely beautiful. Very unusual thing here in Western Washington. And so a few more thoughts on the D800. I'm really getting to love the control scheme on this thing. Everything is so easily accessible via buttons. I don't have to go into the menus hardly at all just to shoot with it, which is really nice. And it's also more easy to use with the gloves on. I've got these new gloves I got for Christmas here that let my fingers poke out. So that makes things easier. But even with regular gloves, it was pretty easy to use that way. So that's actually an advantage over my Z6. The Z6 isn't very easy to use with gloves on, I found. This is though, which is definitely a bonus. Let's see. Also, I did actually try out the video mode, just so that I could test it. The video looks fine. It's 1080p, 30 frames per second, very basic, but it's usable in a pinch. I probably won't use it except in an extreme emergency when I have no other option. I guess the other thing I could criticize is the fact that it has a fixed LCD screen. A tilt, even just a tilt flip would be better, but at the same time, I've honestly not missed having the articulating or tilting that much. Since I've been using it mostly for bird photography, the fixed screen is just fine, and that's pretty cool. It's not. I don't like shooting in live view on this thing. In live view mode, it is not nearly as responsive. I mainly shoot through the viewfinder, and that works just fine. Anyway, yeah, let's go take some pictures. Ready to wrap this video up, and as you've been able to tell, it's kind of been an informal video. It's not my usual exhaustive review. I've only had the camera for a couple of days, but it is about 10 years old, a decade old. And it's very well thought of, so I feel pretty comfortable in saying it's a great camera, even based on my limited experience. I love the images I've captured with it. I love the experience of shooting with it. It's a great camera, no doubt about it. Now, the question I'd really like to answer in this video is whether this camera is actually worth buying in 2022, because it is just about 2022 here. By the time you're watching this video, it probably will be 2022. And is this a camera you should think about investing in? Now, used, it only cost me $700 before tax. That's pretty cheap for a full frame camera with this kind of 36 megapixels, that kind of quality. That is a kind of a bargain, I think. You can get that plus this 300 PF lens. I have used. If you buy both used, you can probably come in around $2,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe depending on how prices fluctuate. And that's a pretty good bargain for this great of a wildlife photography setup. You can throw a 1.4 teleconverter on here, and then it's really great for wildlife. Yeah, for the resolution, also it's going to make a great landscape photography tool. So yeah, if you're on a tight budget and you want to get a high megapixel full frame digital camera, this is a fantastic option, just so long as you don't plan on shooting video, because that is definitely its one major weak point. So yeah, I will say though, I am still going to get the Nikon Z9. I do want that camera. It has some capabilities this one certainly doesn't. It's better, and the Z9 is better in every way, but it is also extremely expensive. You could buy a big pile of D800s for the price of a Z9. So, in conclusion, if you're on a budget, the Nikon D800 is still a great option, especially if you buy used, even in 2022. Oh, and I almost forgot. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all again next time. Bye.